Welcome back to One on One with Mr. Yu. Of course, I'm your host, Mr. Yu. If you're watching us for the very first time, in the upper right-hand corner of the screen, the QR code, grab that. So you can see all of our episodes of One on One with Mr. Yu, or our interviews with people around the world that have been compelling. Like this was definitely going to be. So check it out, please. If you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, however you're hearing us, thank you for jumping into Apple Podcasts. Leave us a 5-star review. Let us know the show resonates with you and all your people. And drop a comment. Let us know how you love the show. And, of course, download and follow all of our shows and episodes on our brand from all of our 3 shows. So thanks again for tuning in studio with us today. Successful entrepreneur, award-winning international speaker, leadership mentor, life coach, Renaissance man, author of the Victory Framework, Philip Brittain in the house, man. Philip, how are you, brother?
Good to see you, man. Great, man. Mr. Yu, how are you this morning?
Fantastic, man. It's been a wild day already, but guess what? We're still in the throes of some more day left, so we're going to go ahead and get through this, man. But thanks for jumping in here, man. I want to get into our convo. We know each other through some networking communities that we're a part of, and we're growing in friendship, and we know a lot about each other right now, but I want to introduce you to the world. So give you a chance to kind of get out there. But I want to bounce around to a lot of things I want to ask you about. So it's going to be fun because it's not going to be any order. Like that, when I'm not sure if really is order. I'm kind of have just thoughts and I just bring them out. But you got some interesting thoughts on leadership experts. I want to hear your thoughts on those. I know you call them so-called leadership experts. Why do you call them so-called experts? What is it that you have seen that's giving you the impression that, you know what, perhaps you probably shouldn't follow these people? What have you been seeing? Share that with us.
Oh, man. That's an interesting question. Glad to be here, man. I look at there's a lot of leadership experts, use the term loosely, but a lot of the books and stuff that they write are loosely theoretical. A lot of it's just, keyboard warrior stuff. They write their books and it sounds good until you put it into practice and actually understand human nature. And when you go back to the good book, that actually gives us the right stuff to look at, the foundational principles that are the basis for all real leadership. And if you look at all the great leadership experts, when you boil it all down, they really have the basics handled. The foundational principles are the same across all the greats. And I think that's one of the reasons why you can see who the great ones are and who the great ones aren't. A lot of them try the mindset hacks and
quick fixes and all kinds of
working with the subconscious and all that's good. They're important. It's true. It's good stuff. It works. But if you don't have the foundational stuff fixed first, none of that stuff lasts. None of that stuff is unshakable. The slightest storm or any little hiccup and all that stuff just goes right out the window and you fall right back into human nature. So you have to take care of the core stuff first.
I love that. And there's a reason why I asked that question right out of the gate, because a lot of people in areas where you and I walk together and they're full of these theories and quick fixes. And a lot of times they may be successful, which is somewhat disheartening. It is successful, but you want the best of folks, but it's like you're successful in, you're not even doing the work on yourself that's required before you decide to counsel somebody and coach somebody else. So we're in those kind of leadership coaching, counseling spaces, and it's just something we just see all the time. I think it was a quote by George Bernard Shaw that you were talking about. Do you remember the quote?
Which one?
The only man I know who
the gist of that is the tailor is the only great one because he takes a new measure of the man every time he sees him.
I love that.
What was it? The only man I trust is my tailor because he takes a new measurement every time I see him. That's the gist of the quote.
No, it's really good. And I love that because a lot of times people try to put their old measurements on us. try to get us to fit in things that don't fit. Like
Things
trying
change. Life
to,
happens.
yeah, it's not going to work for us. I love that. But I want to hear a little bit about, if you can, let's go back to, I guess we can call it the beginning. What's one factor in your childhood that you believe helps make you the man that you are today? What's one thing that you would consider a factor or a big takeaway or a turning point, if you will, that makes you who you are today?
Man, that's tough because my whole childhood was marked with a number of incidents. I was the kid that everybody picked on, and my self-confidence,
Wow.
my self-esteem, my self-image, it was all in the toilet. I had zero self-image. Coming out of the gate, second grade, I was homeschooled until second grade. My second day of second grade, first time at a public school. And man, 8 years old, I'm still wet in the bed, went to school, stinking, just terrible.
Oh, wow.
And boom, the, the beatings began, the name calling, the bullying. And that killed me inside. You know,
Yeah.
I had a great home life. I knew my parents loved me. I knew God loved me, but then I get to school and all right, God, where are you here?
Mm.
Right. I'm running for my life. Or at least it felt like it, right? You're 8
Yeah.
years old. Everything seems bigger
It,
and
it
grander.
feels
And,
good. Yeah.
you
No,
know,
I'm with you.
the world's coming to an end. So my whole childhood was marked with a struggle to find confidence because I literally had none. And God made a lot of different things happen through the years. Some cool incidents happened in middle school that kind of propelled, and then I found theater, which I used as an escape because
Oh, wow. Okay.
I could escape into that. I could be some other character. I didn't have to be me.
Reinvent
And
yourself.
it was awesome because I was great at it, and I got all kinds of accolades, and I was great in the theater on stage because I could take all that pain and hurt and sadness and just put it right into whatever character I was doing, and it made me really good. But I didn't realize until my adulthood what was actually happening is that it was
Mm.
actually just me trying to protect myself
Yeah.
and being an escape, so I didn't have to be me because I didn't
Yeah.
like me.
That makes sense. I want you to kind of speak to the people that are watching and listening today. Maybe they're a kid or maybe they're an adult that still feel like they're a kid in that respect, that have zero confidence. What would you say to them?
Man, confidence is built at the core. One of my mentors, Orrin Woodward, says internal victories precede external victories. You got to do the work inside first, and then the exterior begins to show up in different ways. And when you first look at the victory framework, which God dropped in my lap last fall,
Okay.
taking my entire all my life of the lessons learned the hardest way possible and building confidence and trying to learn lessons. Lori Woodward says lesson continues until the lesson is learned. And man, I can't tell you how many times I had to learn or attempt to learn the same lesson over and over and over. And so that began really using the victory framework. I understood what God had been doing all these years. So building confidence starts at the core. It starts with a vision. Now, I don't know. Do you want to go into the victory framework right now, or should we save that for a minute?
If we're going to come back to it, I want you to kind of share, because I know with a certainty that the people who are watching and listening who have gone through the crucibles, what I call it. I think you use the same kind of words, which makes us, it's kind of cool. But talk to me about the idea of God taking you through the crucible. What did that look like for you? How did that play out for you?
Oh, so many times God put me in situations that were uncomfortable. At
Okay.
saying that loosely, I this is I can't believe I'm about to tell this story. Se- seventh grade, halfway through my seventh grade year, I was first period English class, and there's a handful of the most popular girls in school, and I had this big crush on every one of them. Right, they're all
Oh boy.
right. I, they're not going to give me the time of day for nothing, right?
Yeah.
And somebody had introduced me to a Christian rap artist named Stephen Wiley, and he had an album called "Wrap It Up," and I wore that cassette out front and back, and over the first half of my seventh grade year. And then I take the jacket to school. It unfolds and it's like 12 miles long. And I'm sitting there. I'm trying to write the lyrics out, and these girls surround my desk right before the bell rings. Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? Hide it. Nothing. And yeah, you know how it is, right?
Yeah.
Zero confidence. I'm mortified. I'm starting to sweat. My palms are getting sweaty, and my heart's racing. I'm like, oh my gosh, what are these girls gonna do to me now? Anyway, the bell rings, and I'm thinking, phew, saved by the bell. And
Literally.
no, they insist that they're gonna come find me at lunchtime, and I'm going to rap for them. They insist upon it, and I am mortified. So,
Insist.
so lunchtime comes, and I'm running around like James Bond, or I'm hiding behind park benches and pillars, and like, okay, don't find me, don't see me.
Brother.
And they found me, obviously,
Oh,
uh, and they corner me, and they insist, rap for me, rap for me. Oh my goodness! It was like God just did something to me in that moment. He put me in an uncomfortable position
very.
to influence people that I did not want to influence. I did
Mm.
not want to be in this position. I was scared of it. I didn't want to be in front of people. I didn't want to be the spotlight because the spotlight meant pain for me.
Wow.
But I stood there, and it was like the Holy Spirit had to have just simply come over me, because if it was my own strength, I would never have done it.
No.
But I stood there and I rapped, my guts out. And every single day for the rest of my seventh grade year, I did the same thing every single day at lunch. And one day the crowd at school started getting so big, the teachers and the principal were busting in, break it up, break it up, break it up. They thought it was a fight. And I'm like, holy cow, what is going on? This is crazy. But things like that happened to me a lot
Mm.
over the years, where God put me in a difficult situation and said, here's what you need to do. And of course, I didn't know it at the time. I didn't understand any of this in the moment. I was just scared to death. But God used moments like that to build something in me at a core, to change my behavior, my thought process, my identity, and to really begin to stack wins in certain areas to help build that confidence.
I love that. And one of the things that I know you're a big proponent of is mentorship and leadership. Tell us the impact of having the right mentors and the right resources in your life.
Oh my goodness. I've had the opportunity to be mentored by some incredible mentors, directly and indirectly,
Yeah.
through books and audios, sitting down face to face. And there's the saying that you become the five people you hang around most with, right?
Mm.
You've heard that before, probably. A lot
Yeah.
of your listeners may have heard that before, and it's so true. The word says that you are known by the company you keep. if you hang around bank robbers all day, at some point you're gonna end up driving the getaway car, right? If you hang around successful people, you're gonna pick up things, you're gonna learn things, and eventually success has no choice but to show up. When you hang around those people, it is absolutely instrumental in helping you shave the sharp edges off, helping you understand things that you never thought you needed to understand. Being in a place where you see someone else succeeding gives you hope that you can succeed also.
Hmm.
And that kind of plays into that vision piece. You have to have a vision. You have to have hope for something. Otherwise, what are you doing? What's the point? What's going to drive you past the hurt and the pain? What's going to drive you past the point where you want to quit and give up and just throw your hands in the air and walk away? You got to have something that drives you.
I'm with you on that one. You had a quote. I don't know who the quote was attributed to, but I think it went, help me out if I butcher it. The inability to grieve well is the beginning.
Oh, man. Pete Scazzaro.
What that means to you personally. I want to hear about that. I know you lost your mom or kind of suddenly. Yeah. And I definitely want to hear how you handle that and what you miss about her. I'd love to hear that too. But talk to me about that quote. What does that mean to you personally?
Actually, that's this book here.
Okay.
At least it's either this one or The Emotionally Healthy Leader. And I was actually just going through it trying to find the actual quote, and I can't find it. But okay. I swear I read it in there somewhere. But he said,
I'll do my best to help you while you answer my question. I'll try to help you find it. No worries. Go ahead.
He said, the inability to grieve well is the beginning of all addiction. Man, I read that in January of 23. And it hit me so hard. I realized in that moment that there had been a lot of things in my life that I was just holding on to. I wasn't letting go of some things. I wasn't actually letting myself grieve a lot of the pain and hurt from some things that happened in the past with my childhood and with dealing with my son and his mother primarily, not my son directly, but it hit me so hard. God began to stir something in my heart, and he took me through a year-long process of learning how to really feel the feelings and sit in the pain that I didn't want to sit in, and really helped me heal over that year-long period. Just in time, because January of 2024, my mom suddenly died, and that was a shock.
Yeah.
She was the most joyful, energetic person, and she was a true example of loving your enemies. And she had some evil people around her, and she just loved on them. She just knew how to love. She was always collecting stuff and making stuff and crafting and buying little stuff that she could build to make something for people. And she was always making something and planning something for birthdays and events and weddings. And she always went out of her way to help anybody, even when she didn't have the means. She found a way to provide service for everybody. One of the biggest lessons I ever learned from my mom is how to be generous and loving to people that aren't. And so going through that year-long grieving process, and then mom dies, it's like I came to this realization that God is so good, and we can trust him with the smallest things. And even when it doesn't look good, even when things happen that are terrible and tragic and just hard, God is still there. God is still working. God is still moving. And in fact, the word says that he makes all things work together for good for those who love him and are called according to his purposes.
Yes.
Man, all the garbage in your life, God can still use it to make something good out of it.
It's astounding.
Man, um, it's really powerful when you come to that level of understanding at a true core personal level. It changes how you operate.
No doubt. No doubt. So let's talk a little bit about the victory framework. Let's kind of get into what led you to kind of create that. What kind of results have you been seeing from what you've made? So kind of share a little bit about that with us.
Yeah. It seems like God's been giving me the victory word for many, many years. It just keeps coming up every time I turn around. Victory this, victory that. And I've had the opportunity to speak in Nigeria several times for the
Wow.
Make in Nigeria conference. And my good friend Uche over there is an incredible man of God, doing some great work over there and raising entrepreneurial men and women with godly free market principles to
Mm.
pull people out of poverty. I said, I can get down with that. Let's go. Um, so I've been going over there and speaking every year for a couple of years. I did it virtually for several before that. But the last trip I went to in September, God just hit me like a 2x4 across the face.
Wow.
It was one of these moments. And he took my entire life of lessons learned the hard way, brought it all together under the last 15 years or so of leadership experience, and then just squished it all together into this victory framework and downloaded it into my spirit. And I'm writing feverishly, just trying to keep up. And it was like a light switch. Like, oh
Mm.
my goodness, you've been trying to tell me all this my entire life. And now it all comes together. Boom, victory framework. And I came home in September, and it was pretty much the moment where God said, look, I did not call you to wear a tool belt for the rest of your life. I called you to speak. Go. Oh,
Mm.
okay. Guess I'm shutting down my construction company and going all in terms of sharing the victory framework and doing what I've been doing part-time, but making it full-time.
Mm.
So now I'm speaking, I'm training, I'm doing events here locally. I'm traveling all over the place. I've got 3 different events that I'm doing here just in the next 2 weeks. Virtually, I've got one in Vegas. I'm going to Memphis. This is amazing what God is doing
I'm so proud of you, by the way.
simply because I said, okay, Lord, yes, let's go. This is terrifying and exciting all in the same breath. And okay, Lord, I'm gonna take this step, and I pray there's something solid as my foot comes down. It's all up to you, God. I'll do what you ask me to do, and you got to do everything else I can't do.
Got it. The reason why I asked you that first question about leadership experts and your thoughts on it, because of the question I'm going to ask you next. I'm ask you that, we're going to move into something a little bit deeper. But people have come on this show and other shows, of course. It's not a unique thing in the podcasting world, but people come on when they have these frameworks like this. They have these tools, these resources, and for some reason, it's something that they say is important to them. It's come out of them, is what they kind of describe, but it doesn't change them. Give me one way that you can describe that the victory framework has changed who you are as a person, how you approach things, how you live, how you think.
Everything has been one lesson after another in learning how to the T for trust, for instance,
Okay.
dovetails into character. Learning that, hey, I actually need to work on my character because my character was not great for a long time. And building my character built into learning how to trust myself, which naturally produces a level of confidence that you can't get anywhere else. If your character's crap, then you're not going to have true confidence. And if you've got some success, it won't last because if your character's not right, you will be found out.
Oh, absolutely.
It's not going to last. Building trust with others is a foundational piece of that character piece. Learning how to trust others when you've been hurt, and it's hard to trust people. Man, when you know that you can build trust with others, again, that produces confidence that you can't get anywhere else. And the other part of T is trusting God. When you know you can trust God to do what God said he was going to do, when you can trust God in moving forward. I'll work like it depends on me, and I'll pray like it depends on God, because both are required. And I know I can trust God. I can go anywhere, I can do anything, and I know God will handle it. I'll do everything I can, and God will take care of the rest. It produces a level of confidence internally, deep down at a core level, that you can't fake. You can't you can't build it. You can't manufacture it. It's just there.
I love it. I love it. All right. So I got a few more questions, and we can go ahead and close the show out for today. So
All right, let's do it.
Here's the first of those. You got a beautiful wife, your kids. You got Leia in the background back there barking and squealing.
She's been whining.
You got all these expanding stages that's happening for you. Doors are being opened for you. How does Philip want to be remembered at the end of the day?
I want to be remembered as somebody who wasn't afraid to do what God said.
I like it. Next question. What's your BHAG? Your big, hairy, audacious goal? What's that big mountain that if you don't do anything else, you want to get to the summit of this? What's that BHAG for you?
I've had a reoccurring dream since I was very, very little, and I never understood it until recent years. And that is every few years I would have the dream, and then I'd forget about it, and years later I'd have the dream again. And that is I'm standing on a stage in front of a coliseum of 100,000 people or more. And I'm preaching God's word, or speaking of something, but I can see it clearly, is that I'm on stage, and the stadium is full, packed to the gills, being broadcast. I don't know what that message is yet, but I have a feeling it could be this victory framework, because I know that people struggle with confidence just like I did. Well, I still do. I don't have it all figured out. I'm not all that in a bag of chips. I'm just a guy who said, yes, Lord.
Got it.
And I'll continue to say yes.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what you're going to be doing in Las Vegas. I don't think I'd be able to join you. It doesn't look that way, but I'm excited to hear what you're going to be bringing out, if I can.
Should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I believe that. Last question is going to be a bit of a tough one. I want you to think about it a little bit, because people, they talk about, all the things they want to do and all they want to accomplish, and a lot of times they want the spoils without the investment. For you, if nothing changes in the next year, that means in 2026, nothing changes from where it is right now. It's exactly where it is. What describe for us the cost to you, not just personally, but also spiritually? What's the cost if you don't do anything and employ any more change, no more growth, no more discipline, no more healthy habits? Everything stays as it is currently right now. What does that cost you personally and spiritually?
It's a great question. I like that. If nothing changes, everything stays the same, there's a principle that says, if you're not ripening, you're rotting. If nothing changes, by default, atrophy sets in. So if nothing changes, I'm actually going backwards. And that's not acceptable to me.
What does backwards represent? Name a few things that would indicate that you are backwards.
falling back into addictive behaviors,
Okay.
isolation, a lack of clarity, becoming undisciplined, things pile up. You don't take care of the things that need to be taken care of. Um,
Mm.
Spiritually, slowly starting to not be in the Word as often. And then eventually maybe not ever reading the Bible. That's not
Wow.
acceptable.
Absolutely not.
Uh,
That's a
boy,
lot.
the more I think about it, the more I could come up with. But the
Yeah.
reality is that if you're not growing, you're going backwards. You're
Absolutely.
so I always want to be in a state that I'm trying to be better in the next hour than I was the last hour, better today than I was yesterday, better next month than I was this month. And even if that's, hey, I'm just going to pick one category. Hey, I just want to be a better husband tomorrow than I was today.
Yeah,
I
that's
just want
excellent.
to be more present with my kids tomorrow than I was last week. Right? One category. Let me just improve in one category, whatever that is.
I love that. I love that.
Always be improving.
So in the next 120 seconds, I'm going to give you a chance to speak to the people, the viewers and the listeners, kind of share what's on your heart within that 1 or 2 minutes. And then I give you an opportunity to kind of let everybody know how they can find your work and how they can reach out to you. Go ahead.
Awesome. And I just, I encourage you, if you're struggling with confidence, if your self-worth and your self-image is poor, there's some really great tools to use to begin to make that change. It's a process. It doesn't happen overnight. I can't do it for you. You have to do the hard work, but I can help guide through that process, through the victory framework. And that's what I'm called to do. I just want to help people build more confidence, get closer to God, and understand what their calling is so that they can go influence other people and change lives. And it's all for God's kingdom, his glory, his righteousness. And I'm not that special. God's just said, "Hey, will you go?" And I said, "Yes." That's really as simple as it is. I've learned some things and I can teach you what I've learned. And there's things that I don't know and I can't teach you those. But I'm on a mission to help people build confidence and get closer to God. So if you're struggling with confidence, find me.
All right. How can they find you?
I'm all over Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, pretty much all the socials at the Philip Brittain, Philip with one L, Brittain with two T's. And then the website is hopefully live this week, philipbrittain.com. It's getting a massive overhaul. And then iwantvictory.com will be the events and info for the Victory Training Network, which is nearly launched.
All right. Congratulations on all the successes, man. The entrepreneur, award-winning international speaker, leadership mentor, life coach, author of the Victory Framework, and like I said before, just a full-out Renaissance man. And he does public speaking as well. So, Philip Brittain's in the house, man. Brother, thank you for being here. Thanks for being my
Pleasure,
friend.
man. Thank you for having me.
Being a part of this show, man. I appreciate you.
You too.
And if you guys are watching and listening for the very first time, of course, in the right-hand corner of the screen, the QR code, you can grab that to catch shows and episodes and interviews like this one. Catch up on what we've been doing. And of course, if you're a watcher, catch us on our YouTube channel, youtube.com They Call Me Mr. Yu. Please subscribe to the channel. It helps us out. We'll continue to put out great content like this and be there for you all the help we can get. So thank you for that. Of course, if you're listening, Apple Podcasts is the place to be. Drop a 5-star review there of this show, of this discussion with Philip and myself, and any shows we've done in the past. Let us know how it resonates with you. And we just Appreciate you guys for being a part of this effort, this journey, this mission. You're a big part of it. That's Philip. I'm Mr. Yu. We're out here having